Welcome back everybody. It's been a while since I did a video, but that has been because I've been very busy with work and actually another car project, but I won't be telling you about that one. But it's my mate's fault, so he's only got himself to blame for the slight delay in progress on Dotty. Today I shall be painting the inside of the car black. The original plan was to do it green, but I'm quite impressed with the rust proofing abilities of the Upol Raptor. So with an old car like this, it probably will leak at some point, and I'd rather have a decent surface in here so that it can't attack that floor pan again. So what I've been doing this morning so far is just cleaning up the inside with the wire brick wheel, getting off any sort of loose shite that's collected excuse me, and stuck to the sealer. So I've just been cleaning that up. Now I'm going to hoover it with George Hoover, who is Henry's, I don't know, cousin, but likes sucking up even more crap, and then I will go and get some paint. I've also cleaned off the underside of the headlining at the back where I did that welding, not headlining, but you know, the headboard thing. So I'll give some areas of that a mix, sorry, an overcoat. I'm not going to do the whole ceiling pan because there's little point. The only reason that got damp in the first place is through condensation, so there's no point in me painting it, it's just a waste of paint. So I'm just going to do footwell, rear seat base. I won't even bother doing over and into the boot today because there's still some ever so slight minor leaks that I need to sort first. The other reason I'm doing it today is it's dry, but it's windy, so a bit of a breeze, which will help because that stuff I'm using, I think you're meant to wear a proper respirator and I don't have one, so I'm just going to hold my breath, roller it, and hope I don't die. Pretty much go time. All of the inside is now cleaned. I've given it some of a key as well, and then I degreased it with panel wipe and a cloth. That's the Upol Raptor. It's the two-part one, so again I've mixed it up in its pot, then just decanted some into an old ice cream tub. I was going to roller it, but I'm going to save my roller until I do the sills. I can't be bothered to spray this stuff because it means getting my other compressor over here and all of my spraying kit, and it's messy. So my intention is to do the last bottle just to roller the sills just before I finish the car. The first job really is to do the bits above me that can drip off and spoil the rest. So I'm going to do the top of the roof over here, then the front footwells, and then just work my way back to the middle and try not to poison myself. This is the respirator, well, it's not a respirator, this is the filter thing I've got but I can't remember what numbers mean. HG I think is lead, so it's the best I've got, so that's what I'm going to use. But in other sort of preparations, I'm keeping all the doors open. I might even prop up the tailgate as well, just to get a bit of breeze through. It is quite windy, you can see there is quite a lot of breeze, so I'm not too worried, but I will stop if I feel there's any sort of funny effects. It's really nasty stuff, this, I think, particularly when you spray it. Shouldn't be too bad rollering and paint by brush, but either way should be cautious. That bit's done. I'm going to do the footwells and work back this way. Let's start this one. Well, I'm about halfway done. Done the top of the roof back there, done from the footwell all to here, and now I'm working my way back from that footwell through to the back, and then I'll stop at that point. The good news is I haven't had any seizures or fits and my lungs still work, so I think this filter's working, because before, when I had it over my mouth, I couldn't smell the paint at all. Now talking to you I can, so it's doing something. So I'll put it back on and continue painting. So that's the inside done. I'm not bothering doing the top there because obviously the insulation pad has to go back over there. Plus it's not metal, it's rubber, so or plastic bitumen stuff, so there's no point painting it. I do have some paint left over, so I'm going to open up the boot and do bits in there that I know I'm going to have to do anyway later, just till I use up the paint. It started raining now, so I'm giving up. I've actually run out of paint anyway, but yeah, I'm going to shut the doors before it rains on this. I've just painted in the backs, up under the corners there, and down the sides to keep as much of the weather out as I can. Get rid of that. And I'm going to have a cup of tea because I haven't even had any breakfast yet. All the paint has started to go off, which is good. While the car is still up in the air, I wanted to replace that brake line. I cut through it when I was doing some of the prep work. So I need to get under here, get the remains of it off, and then I'm going to use it as a template. This should be the right length. That is a custom made one out of a kit that I had ages ago, and I used the other bits and I never used that bit, so fingers crossed that's the right one. And then I'll form the rough shape that I need and then bosh it in. That was a complete fail. A fail in two ways. One is this pipe that I have from the kit isn't long enough. That must have been the one that goes over the rear axle, or it's just a crap kit. Either way, I'm going to need to buy some copper pipe and make it myself. The other dumb thing is I'm so sure that I did catch this with the grinder, and that's why in my mind I knew it needed replacing, but actually I cannot find any damage to it whatsoever. It's borderline whether it actually needed replacing, because none of the rear end is rusty. The only rusty bit is up here, and it is pretty pitted, but it's still strong, so arguably I didn't need to swap it. But anyway, it's going to get a new one. There's just going to be a delay until I get some pipe, which is annoying. With the final dregs of the black paint, I painted in the manifold drain there, so when it rains water can potentially get into this scuttle area. It'll drain out through that hole and come out down there, so I've just toshed that full of paint. When the paint's gone off, I'll fill it with Dynax S50, which is extreme duty anti-corrosion wax, and that's the really thin stuff that creeps into holes, so that'll go in there. What I also want to do is fit the washer jet thing and the wiper linkage nuts, and then that should fill up that hole, one of those and that one over there, and then I need a rubber bung for the other one. This is going to get very messy, but there's a good reason for doing it. Oh, in fact, I've just remembered there is a trick to doing this that's much neater. Let me go and get prepared properly. Well, it was going to get extremely messy, but then I remembered you can just spray that wax into a tub and then you can paint it on, ideally with a paintbrush, but I don't have one, so I'm using a toothbrush. But yeah, anything to stop these areas rotting on an SD1 is beneficial. It looks messy, but it'll wipe off once I've got it all together. And again, even the ones that have either a rubber bung or the washer jet, it's still worth doing this, just in case rust wants to start. Rust is the enemy. We're going to do that one. Has that gone off yet? It's going off. It's not actually coming off on my finger. So in a minute, once I've done with the wiper linkage, I'll shoot a whole load into there. And that's all in and together, and I found a bung for that side. I'm going to leave the painting, or sorry, the wax oiling, or you know, anti-cavity wax stuff, until that's definitely gone off, and I think I actually want to paint a bit more in there anyway, so I'm going to leave the scuttle grills off until I do the rest of the painting with the black stuff, because I'll probably end up doing it again anyway. But other than that, it's been a mildly successful day. I need to get on with something else now, so although it's dry-ish, I'm going to have to quit while I'm ahead and I don't know whether I'll upload this or whether this will be part of another video, but anyway, we shall see. It's now far too dark to mess around outside. These are Dotty's front indicator and side light units. They have lost all of their silver in it, so I have bought myself a can of this, which I've never used before, and I'm hoping that if I get this all keyed up nicely with the Scotch Brite, then I stand a chance of actually getting the chrome paint to stick. But that will be a big improvement over what we currently have, because even when the orange indicator lenses are held up against it, they just look dull and crap. So I'm going to strip these down, take the bulb holders out, separate it from that creamy white piece of plastic which shouldn't be silvered, and then clean it up, paint it, see what happens. Right, they're all the original chrome cleaned off. I couldn't get the light units out, so instead I've just bunged kitchen towel in there to stop the paint going in. And then the chrome paint I've had soaking in warm water for a while because it's quite cold tonight and it's kind of damp outside, so they've been preheated with a hairdryer. That's preheated, so I'm going to go outside now, dust them with silver, and hope it stays stuck. Tell you what, I'm damn impressed with that. That's just a few coats, and fair enough, it's not as shiny as the cap would suggest, but that's perfectly fine for, you know, my purposes. So I will hang that one up and get on with the second one. Really happy with how that's looking. I can't remember whether the inner faces of the sides should be chrome or body colour, but I've done them chrome, and I can always do it another colour later if I need to, like satin black or something, because when that's in the car, if you peer in through the headlight, you'll see that bit. So it's nice that it's all shiny silver and not sort of distressed, aged plastic looking. So that can go up there, and I will tidy up and call it a night. All back together again, looking good, looking bright and shiny. So I'm happy with those. Looking forward to fitting them to the car. I just need to double check on what lenses I've got now, because I know I did have some, but they weren't the best, and the ones that were on Dotty I think were green, slimy, and had cracks and nastiness in them. So I'll have to go root through the boxes and see what I can turn up. I want to put the indicators together. That is the only original Series 1 gasket that I have. Presumably it goes that way up because that must be a drain hole. But I've got some sticky back foam. The idea is to replicate that, and then that actually must go that way round. Ah, yeah, that's how I locate it. So you're going to use this as a template, then cut out a new one. Well, cut out two new ones. The reason I'm not doing the other side yet is because I've just realised that the lens I've got is a bit wonky. It's missing a chunk, so I need to get another one, but at least I can do this side. That's one done. Some people I've seen have put these cars back together and they haven't put a gasket in, and what happens is water can get in and it just starts corroding in here again, which makes it look rubbish. And the other problem is, without a gasket, this whole lens can sit closer to the housing. So when the whole unit is bolted to the car, this lip here digs into the paint, particularly at the back corners, and it can actually cut and damage the paint. So that's why it's important to have a gasket. And when you're bolting it into the car, be mindful that you might actually need to sand the back of the light unit off just to prevent it from chipping into the paint. So I'm going to do the other side now, and that one I can build up fully. This is the other lens I've got, but as you can see, it's missing a chunk out of the bottom there. So and it's cracked around here. So although in the main it's okay, I might put it on as a temporary measure, but long term I need to find a new one. There we have it, one semi-renovated, re-silvered, cleaned up and re-gasketed indicator lens. Annoyingly, I've just spotted a slight break there. That wasn't me, that was there already. So if it wasn't pissing down, I could probably go and fit those, but it is raining and I can't be bothered. So that's the end of the video. See you next time.